Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have it all figured out? They move with intention. They speak with clarity. They act with purpose. It's not that they have more hours in a day than you do. They've just learned the power of 1 hour, 60 minutes. Every day we are gifted with 1,440 minutes. But it's not the hours we're missing. It's the meaning behind how we use them. The truth is this: you don't need to change your entire life overnight. You need to change how you show up for just 1 hour a day. 1 hour can redefine your future. That might sound like an exaggeration in a world that glorifies hustle, long hours, and relentless output. But it's not about how much time you have. It's about how intentionally you use the time you already do. In fact, most people don't lack time. They lack clarity. Clarity of purpose, clarity of focus, clarity of direction. And in the noise of daily obligations, notifications, and distractions, that clarity often gets buried. But imagine what could happen if you took just 1 hour every single day and dedicated it solely to your growth. No phone, no distractions, no reacting to the world around you, just you, your thoughts, your goals, your learning. That hour becomes sacred. It becomes your time to invest not just in tasks, but in yourself. Here's the truth: transformation doesn't require dramatic overnight shifts. Most real change happens in silence, in private, in the spaces where no one is watching, and it happens 1 hour at a time. That's where skills are developed, where new ideas are formed, where confidence is built, not by waiting for the perfect opportunity, but by showing up consistently with intention. The power of 1 hour is that it teaches discipline without burnout. You're not trying to change your whole life in a day. You're giving yourself space to grow every single day. You can read for an hour, study your craft, learn something new, build your body, write your ideas, reflect, plan, dream. Whatever your future demands from you, you can begin paying into it 60 minutes at a time. Think about what happens when you compound that hour. In 7 days, that's 7 hours. In a month, 30. In a year, that's 365 hours. That's over 9 full 40-hour work weeks that you've spent intentionally investing in your better future without burning out, without sacrificing the rest of your life. That's the secret. That's the edge. Most people never do this, not because they can't, but because they don't believe small actions matter. But they do. They matter more than anything. We often overestimate what we can achieve in a single day and massively underestimate what we can achieve with consistent effort over time. That's why people give up, because they don't see immediate results. But transformation doesn't announce itself. It happens quietly. It builds behind the scenes. And then one day, it becomes impossible to ignore. When you dedicate just 1 hour daily to your growth, something profound shifts. You begin to trust yourself again. You begin to see progress, and progress builds momentum. You stop waiting for life to change and you start changing it piece by piece. That hour becomes your proof that you're not stuck, that you're still moving forward. It becomes the evidence that your future is still being shaped by you. The most successful, fulfilled people aren't always the ones who work the most hours. They're the ones who use their hours with intention. They understand the value of consistency. They know that discipline isn't about restriction, it's about liberation. Because when you control 1 hour of your day, you begin to take back control of your life. So ask yourself, what would 1 hour do for you? What kind of person could you become if you committed to showing up for yourself every single day for just 60 minutes? The answer isn't out there somewhere in the future. It's already within you. And it begins right now with this hour. We often say, I don't have enough time. It's the most common excuse, the most accepted reason, and the most dangerous lie we tell ourselves. But time was never the problem. Time is constant. Every person, no matter where they are in the world or what their background is, gets the same 24 hours in a day. The difference lies in how we use those hours, and more importantly, why we use them the way we do. The real challenge is not time management, it's purpose management. When you wake up without a clear sense of purpose, the day controls you. You drift from task to task, putting out fires, responding to emails, reacting to other people's needs and schedules. By the end of the day, you're exhausted. But what did you actually move forward? What did you build? What did you do that truly mattered to you? Without purpose, even a full calendar can leave you feeling empty. But with purpose, even a single focused hour can feel like momentum. Time on its own is neutral. It's simply the space in which we act. Purpose is the filter that determines whether our actions matter. We admire people who are consistent, disciplined, productive, but we overlook the fact that these traits are fueled by clarity. Clarity about why they're doing what they're doing. When you have a strong why, you stop wasting time on things that don't align. You stop chasing validation, you stop living in reaction mode, you start living with direction. And with direction comes efficiency, not from trying harder, but from knowing what deserves your energy and what doesn't. If you give two people the same 8 hours, one will waste it on distractions, while the other will use it to move closer to a goal. The difference isn't in how smart or talented they are. The difference is that one knows what they're working toward, and the other doesn't. Purpose gives time its meaning, Most people don't need more hours. They need to stop spending their hours on things that don't serve their future. Scrolling through social media, engaging in pointless arguments, saying yes to every request. These are symptoms of a life without direction. When you know your purpose, saying no becomes easier. Focus becomes natural. Time begins to feel abundant because you're no longer scattered. And the amazing thing about purpose is that it doesn't just create clarity, it creates energy. Have you ever noticed how energized you feel when you're working on something you care about? You lose track of time, you forget about being tired. That's not because you suddenly got more hours, it's because your purpose activated something inside you. It aligned your effort with meaning. It's easy to blame time because it removes responsibility. It gives us a way out, but the moment you stop blaming time and start questioning your priorities, your life begins to shift. You stop looking for more hours in the day and start looking inward. What matters to you? What are you building? Who are you becoming? Purpose doesn't always start as a grand vision. Sometimes it's simply the decision to be intentional, to use your time today in a way that respects your future. You don't need all the answers right now. You just need to move with purpose, even if it's a small step. So no, time is not the enemy. Time is the canvas, but without purpose, you're just throwing paint at it, hoping something sticks. With purpose, you create art. You build a life that's meaningful, not just busy. Because in the end, it's not about how much time we had, it's about what we did with the time we were given. And that comes down to purpose. Every time we live in a world obsessed with intensity, the big launch, the grand gesture, the viral moment. We praise the overnight success, the massive transformation, the dramatic before and after. But what we often fail to recognize is that lasting success rarely comes from a single explosive effort. It comes from quiet, repeated actions, from the days when no one is watching, from the decision to keep showing up even when the excitement has worn off. That's the power of consistency, and it beats intensity every single time. Intensity is seductive. It gives us a rush. It makes us feel like we're doing something extraordinary. We pull an all-nighter at the gym, start a strict diet, or dive headfirst into a new habit with full force. But intensity burns hot, and it burns out. It's not designed to last. It's based on emotion, and emotions are temporary. Consistency, on the other hand, is about discipline. It's about commitment. It's not loud or flashy. In fact, it's often boring. It's waking up and doing the thing you said you would do regardless of how you feel that day. It's choosing progress over perfection. It's about the long game, not the quick win. The people who achieve the most, whether in business, health, relationships, or personal growth, are not the ones who go the hardest for the shortest amount of time. They're the ones who build habits, systems, and routines that support their goals day after day, week after week. They understand that success isn't a single moment, it's a pattern. Think of a drop of water falling on stone. One drop doesn't make a difference, 10 drops might not either, but over time, with consistent pressure, that water can carve through rock. That's the nature of consistent effort. It's slow, it's steady, but it's unstoppable. Consistency doesn't just build skill, it builds identity. When you do something consistently, you start to see yourself differently. If you write every day, you start to see yourself as a writer. If you train regularly, you start to see yourself as an athlete. These small daily actions reinforce a deeper belief. This is who I am now. The danger of intensity is that it often relies on willpower alone. And willpower is limited. It fluctuates based on stress, sleep, mood, and environment. But consistency relies on systems. It's about making the right choice the easy choice. You don't need to be motivated every day. You need a plan that works even when you're not. Small, consistent actions also create trust with yourself. When you say you'll do something and actually follow through, even in small ways, you begin to believe that your words matter, that your promises mean something, that you can rely on you. And over time, those small actions compound. 10 minutes a day adds up. A single healthy meal matters. Reading a few pages, making one phone call, writing one paragraph. It might not look like much in the moment, but stack those moments together and you begin to create real momentum. Not because of how intense each action was, but because of how unshakable your commitment is. In a culture that celebrates burnout and glorifies hustle, choosing consistency is an act of rebellion. It's choosing long-term impact over short-term dopamine. It's choosing mastery over hype. It's choosing sustainability over burnout. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't try to do everything at once. Just pick one thing. Do it today, do it tomorrow, then do it the day after that. Let the world chase intensity. You chase consistency. That's where the real transformation lives. Quiet, steady, relentless. We all do it. We wait. We tell ourselves we'll start when we have more time, when we feel more confident, when we've done more research, when we're less tired, when the timing feels just right. We convince ourselves that our circumstances need to be perfect before we can begin. But the truth is, there is no perfect time. The perfect moment you're waiting for doesn't exist. And the longer you wait for it, the further your goals slip away. Waiting feels safe, it feels responsible, but what it really does is delay growth. It keeps us stuck in preparation mode, in hesitation, in fear masked as logic. Deep down, we're often not waiting for time, we're waiting to feel ready. But readiness isn't something you wait for, it's something you create through action. Clarity, confidence, momentum, those things don't come before you start, they come because you start. The idea that the right time will suddenly appear is comforting, but it's an illusion. Life doesn't hand out perfect windows of opportunity with no distractions, no doubt, and no fear. Life is messy. You will always be busy. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be something else competing for your time and attention. If you're waiting for everything to calm down, for everything to align, you'll wait forever. What separates people who make progress from those who don't isn't that they had better timing, it's that they stopped using timing as an excuse. They acted. They started with what they had from where they were, even if they weren't fully ready. And that decision to begin despite the chaos, despite the fear, is what made all the difference. Think about the moments in your life when you grew the most. Were they planned? Were you fully prepared? Or did they come from you being thrown into something you didn't feel ready for and figuring it out as you went? We don't become strong by standing still. We become strong by moving forward, by doing the work, even when it's uncomfortable. Starting now doesn't mean going all in or turning your life upside down. It just means taking a step, one small, clear action that moves you closer to where you want to be. And want to write a book? Open a blank document and write the first sentence. Want to get in shape? Go for a 10-minute walk. Want to start a business? Research your first idea. Waiting for the perfect time is overwhelming. But taking a single step, that's doable. And that step creates movement. Movement builds confidence. Confidence leads to more action. You don't need a perfect plan. You need to make a decision. Because action creates clarity, not the other way around. You learn by doing. You improve by trying. You grow by stepping into discomfort, not by planning your way around it. We admire people who take risks, who chase their dreams, who build something meaningful. But often, those people weren't braver than the rest of us. They just refused to let waiting become their identity. They understood that perfection is the enemy of progress and that later is the language of fear. If you want to change your life, you have to stop waiting for the conditions to be perfect. You have to start now, imperfect, unsure, maybe even a little scared, but you start. Because the only thing more painful than starting before you're ready is looking back a year from now and realizing you could have been so much further if you had. Today's not perfect, neither is tomorrow, but they are both full of potential. And the only difference between people who move forward and people who stay stuck is the decision to begin, even when it's messy, uncertain, and inconvenient. So stop waiting, start building, start growing, start becoming. The time is never perfect. But you're ready enough. Your edge, the thing that sets you apart, that gives you an advantage in life, in your career, in your mindset, is not built in a single moment. It's built slowly, quietly, 1 hour at a time. Most people think greatness is about talent or luck. But it's not. It's about what you choose to do when no one is watching. It's about how you use the hours that everyone else wastes. We all want to stand out. We want to be excellent, to be respected, to feel proud of who we're becoming. But few are willing to commit to the boring, disciplined work required to get there. That's why one intentional hour each day can become your edge. While others are distracted, scrolling, or procrastinating, you're building something. Skill, discipline, confidence, depth. And those things compound in ways that no shortcut ever could. This edge isn't about being better than someone else. It's about becoming better than who you were yesterday. It's about doing the reps, writing, training, studying, practicing, not because someone is grading you, but because you know what you're working toward. That hour isn't about the outcome. It's about the identity you're shaping. Every time you show up, you're sending a message to yourself, I'm serious about my future. Most people underestimate what 1 hour a day can do. They think if it's not 2 or 3 hours of work, it won't matter. But that's a lie we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. 1 hour of deep focus beats a full day of scattered effort. And when you stack those focused hours over weeks and months, you begin to see change not just in results, but in who you are. Your edge comes from commitment. It comes from the days when you don't feel like showing up, but you do anyway. It comes from choosing to build when no one claps for you, when there's no applause, no validation, no external reward, just the quiet confidence that you're becoming someone worth trusting, worth following, worth respecting. This daily hour isn't about hustle culture. It's not about burnout or pressure to do more. It's about reclaiming just one slice of your day and saying, this is mine. It's about taking control, about being intentional with your energy instead of letting life pull you in every direction. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do the right thing consistently. When you make this hour non-negotiable, when it becomes as routine as brushing your teeth or eating lunch, it transforms how you see yourself. You stop breaking promises to yourself. You start building credibility with the one person whose opinion matters most, you. That's where real confidence comes from, not from praise or status, but from earned self-respect. And that's what creates your edge. The internal strength to keep showing up, the quiet discipline to keep learning, the resilience to keep moving even when progress feels slow. That's the kind of edge that can't be faked, bought, or borrowed. It's earned, 1 hour at a time. You don't need to wait for some big opportunity to arrive. You can start building your edge today, right now. Use 1 hour to invest in your growth, not out of pressure, but out of purpose. Because when that opportunity does come, you won't need to scramble to prepare. You'll already be ready. Not because you crammed for it, but because you built for it. So choose your hour, protect it, use it. That hour might seem small today, but it's the sharp edge that will cut through resistance, doubt, and mediocrity tomorrow. Greatness isn't found, it's forged. And your edge, it's already in your hands. 1 hour, every day, relentlessly. The future isn't something you stumble into. It doesn't just appear one day fully formed. It's built one choice, one action, one decision at a time. And the place it's built isn't out there in some distant someday. It's here, it's now. The future is shaped in the present, in how you spend your time today, in what you choose to prioritize, in the habits you build, and in the standards you hold yourself to. Most people treat the future like it's separate from them, like it's something that will eventually happen, hopefully in their favor if they just keep doing what they're doing. But the truth is, the life you're going to live 5 years from now is being designed right now by how you live this hour, this day. Your future isn't waiting to be discovered, it's waiting to be created. And that's both empowering and challenging, because it means you're responsible for it. You can't blame time, you can't blame luck, you can't blame circumstances. It's built in the quiet decisions, the choice to show up when it would be easier to quit, the choice to learn instead of distract, the choice to act instead of overthink. These little decisions are like bricks. On their own, they may not look like much, but stack them every day and you're building something solid, something real, something you can stand on. The mistake people make is thinking that the present doesn't matter if it's not dramatic, that if they're not making huge moves, nothing's changing. But change doesn't happen all at once. It's slow, it's subtle, and it's happening all the time. Every habit you repeat, every standard you reinforce, every excuse you accept or reject, it's all forming the foundation of what's coming next. You don't suddenly become disciplined. You don't magically become skilled or confident or successful. Those are the outcomes of showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. The present is your training ground. And the way you practice is the way you perform. If you want to lead a more meaningful life, if you want a stronger mindset, if you want greater impact or peace or clarity, stop looking at the horizon. Start looking at your habits. Start asking yourself what you're building with your current actions. Because even when you're not actively trying to build your future, you're still shaping it. Avoiding the work is shaping it. Saying tomorrow for the 100th time is shaping it. The only way to truly control your future is to take full ownership of the present. Not in theory, in practice. Not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Because it's in the present that your potential becomes progress. It's where ideas become action. It's where dreams stop being fantasies and start becoming plans. You don't have to change everything overnight. You just have to stop living on autopilot. Start becoming intentional. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing today aligned with the future I say I want? That one question will change everything because it puts the responsibility back in your hands. The most powerful truth is this: you don't have to wait to become the person you want to be. You can start acting like that person today, right now, not perfectly, not flawlessly, but intentionally, with purpose. Because the future doesn't just happen to you. You're not a passenger, you're the builder. And the tools you need aren't somewhere in the distance. They're already here in your present choices. The future you want is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice. And that choice is made one moment at a time, starting now,